We know that a mother never cooks food in the living room or in the bedroom. Similarly, plants prepare their food in a few cells that have provisions required to prepare food. We are familiar that photosynthesis takes place in a special organelle present in the cell of a plant. Your brain might have guessed the organelle, right? But do you know how this organelle functions to undergo the process? Or what are the pigments involved apart from the pigment chlorophyll? Let us dwell deeper into the topic and find out the answer to the above asked question. Are you able to recall the part of the leaf that undergo photosynthesis? Yes, it's mesophyll. They have numerous chloroplasts in their cells which help the process to occur quickly. If you look at the mesophyll cells under a high power microscope, you see that the chloroplast is aligned in the periphery of the mesophyll cells, just near the walls. Can you now guess when the chloroplasts lie horizontally or flat to the surface, or when they lie vertically to receive the light? When the light intensity is less, they lie flat to expose a larger surface area and trap more energy. When the light intensity is high, they align themselves vertically. Is it correct to say that only leaves undergo photosynthesis? No, it is not. Green parts of the plant undergo photosynthesis. The presence of chloroplast in these green parts and the photosynthetic pigment that helps to trap solar energy and carry forward the process of photosynthesis. Let us first see the basic structure of a chloroplast. A chloroplast is a double membrane organelle. A fluid-filled matrix is found inside the membrane. What do we call this matrix as? Right, it's the stroma. Inside the stroma, there are many stakes of coin-like structure called grana. Singular, we call them as granum. The individual coin in the stake is known as thylakoid. Each granum is connected to another by the channels called Fred channels or stroma lamellae. We know that in a cell, one organelle does not perform all the functions. So, the work is divided to the different organelle of the cell. So, is there any such division of labor in chloroplast? Correct. There is division of labor in the chloroplast. Let's now see the function of chloroplast. Inside chloroplast, grana undergo light reaction and stroma undergo dark reaction. The membrane of the grana helps to trap solar energy and synthesis ATP and NADP. As you can see in this image, the granum traps solar energy and help to synthesis ATP from ADP and NADPH from NADP. As this process is driven by light, it is called light reaction or photochemical reaction. So what happens to these ATPs and NADPH produced in the grana? Let's see. These ATPs and NADPH are utilized to drive the synthesis of sugar in the stroma. As you can see in this image, the ATP and NADPH are utilized to synthesize glucose, that is sugar. This reaction is independent of light and is known as dark reaction. Does the dark reaction takes place only in the dark or all time of the day? Dark reaction is independent of light and occurs both in the daytime and at night time. It is named dark reaction to complement the name light reaction. As discussed above, solar energy is trapped during the light reaction. What helps in the trapping of solar energy? Yes, the photosynthetic pigments. Chlorophyll is the photosynthetic pigment that helps in trapping of solar energy. But is chlorophyll the only pigment or are there other photosynthetic pigment? In our previous grades, we have studied that chlorophyll is the photosynthetic pigment. But have you noticed that every plant has a different shade of green in the leaf? Why so? That's because there are different photosynthetic pigments and the proportions of these pigments impact different shades of green. How will a person get to know the different pigment present in a green leaf? A very simple method called paper chromatography is used for this purpose. The pigments get separated into the paper at different layers. As you can see in this image, the pigment got separated into 4 different layers. Green color is imparted in the leaves by 4 different photosynthetic pigments called chlorophyll A, that is blue-green, chlorophyll B, yellow-green, xanthophyll, yellow, and carotene, yellow-orange. Can you say which among the 4 pigment is present and is abundant in all photosynthetic organisms? Yes, it's the pigment chlorophyll A. But what makes the pigment most important or most abundant? It is the absorption capacity of the pigment. Every pigment absorbs a certain wavelength of visible light received from solar energy. At what wavelength does chlorophyll A shows the maximum absorption? Is there any other peak for chlorophyll A? Yes, it is very clear from the graph that chlorophyll A has 2 absorption peaks at 2 different wavelengths of light. Now let us have a look at the action spectrum. That is, the spectrum that shows the rate of photosynthesis. From the action spectrum, it is understood that chlorophyll A shows the highest rate of photosynthesis at both the wavelengths of light. This answers the question why chlorophyll A is the most abundant and important photosynthetic pigment. From both the graphs, we have come to one more conclusion, that maximum absorption and maximum action takes place in the blue region and the red region of the visible spectrum. From this image, we can easily understand that maximum absorption and action takes place in the blue and the red region of the visible spectrum. Hence, chlorophyll is considered a photosynthetic pigment. The 4 pigments of photosynthesis are divided into 2 categories on the basis of trapping the solar energy. Any guesses on the categories? Fine. The first category is the major pigment, that is chlorophyll A. And the second category are the accessory pigments, that is chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, and carotenes, that helps to trap solar energy and transfer it to chlorophyll A. Now in this video, we have seen the place where photosynthesis occurs and the pigments that help in the process of photosynthesis. But there are certain questions that have to be answered. Why is the solar energy trapped by the accessory pigments are transferred to chlorophyll A? What does chlorophyll do with the trapped solar energy? We will discuss answers to the above question in the next video. Now let's summarize what we have learned.
Manorama Horizon, learning made simple.